Welcome to the WION podcast. In this episode, we explore how the USS Abraham Lincoln spent a record 295 days at sea, revealing the relentless operations, human endurance, and nuclear power behind one of history's longest deployments. The story of this record-breaking deployment is closely tied to one of the most iconic moments in modern U.S. naval history. The iconic "Mission Accomplished" banner was actually the crew's own idea. They asked the White House to have it professionally made. What most headlines missed. The carrier had already been at sea for 290 days, setting the record for the longest deployment of any nuclear-powered aircraft carrier in U.S. history. The ship had launched 16,500 combat sorties and dropped 1.6 million pounds of ordnance during Operation Iraqi Freedom before Bush ever stepped aboard. In April 2019, Abraham Lincoln departed for what was planned as a standard 6-month deployment to the Middle East. The first extension came in May 2019 when the Pentagon cited escalating Iranian threats and ordered the carrier to remain in the region. Her presence was meant to deter Iranian aggression. Then, in October 2019, USS Harry S. Truman suffered a catastrophic electrical malfunction and was forced out of the region. Abraham Lincoln, already exhausted from months at sea, had to stay and cover Truman's area of responsibility as well, compounding a deployment that showed no signs of ending. USS Abraham Lincoln finally arrived at her new home port of Naval Air Station North Island, San Diego, on January 20, 2020, after around 300 consecutive days at sea. She had surpassed her own 2003 record by exactly 5 days, making her the only carrier in U.S. naval history to hold the post-Cold War deployment record twice over. The crew of approximately 6,000 sailors and airmen, 3,200 ships company plus 2,500 air wing personnel, had spent nearly 10 months away from their families. Morale support programs were deployed, and the Navy publicly acknowledged the exceptional strain on the crew. What made such marathon deployments physically possible is Abraham Lincoln's nuclear heart. 2 Westinghouse A4W reactors drive the carrier with 260,000 shaft horsepower and a theoretical range of unlimited nautical miles. The ship does not stop for fuel ever. Unlike conventionally powered vessels that must return to port or rendezvous with tankers regularly, Abraham Lincoln's reactors can sustain high-speed operations for 20 to 25 years between refueling overhauls. Her only lifetime refueling, completed in 2017 after a 4-year refueling and complex overhaul costing approximately $3 billion, consumed 2.5 million man-hours of work. The numbers behind Abraham Lincoln's 2003 deployment are staggering in their own right. Her air wing flew 16,500 combat sorties during Operation Iraqi Freedom, an average of roughly 57 sorties every single day over the deployment. The carrier launched strikes deep into Iraq, with pilots flying missions that sometimes lasted several hours round-trip. Sea Control Squadron 35, operating from the deck, conducted one of the largest aerial refueling undertakings by a carrier aviation squadron in recorded history, delivering over 1 million pounds of fuel to strike aircraft during the campaign. Abraham Lincoln's extraordinary career has produced moments of absurdity alongside its martial achievements. In November 2022, the carrier hosted a college basketball game on its flight deck. Gonzaga defeated Michigan State 64-63 in a game watched by thousands of sailors at sea. In 2012, while deployed to the Middle East, 1,800 of her crew watched the world premiere of the film Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, the first time a major motion picture debuted for troops deployed in a war zone. The ship that hosted a presidential Mission Accomplished declaration also hosted a film about its namesake, hunting the undead. The supreme irony of USS Abraham Lincoln's legacy is written in deployment orders. The ship chosen to host the announcement that the Iraq War's combat phase was over in May 2003 has been in near-continuous operational service ever since returning to the Middle East, the Pacific, and the Indian Ocean on deployment after deployment. Rather than being the ship that ended America's wars, Abraham Lincoln became one of the most continuously deployed carriers in the modern U.S. Navy, breaking its own records not once but twice, and spending more consecutive days at sea than any nuclear carrier in the post-Cold War era. Thanks for tuning into this incredible story. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more captivating stories to come. Stay tuned.